Why would Ryan have to do this? Well, you see, Ryan had a bigger problem, and his problem stems from what happened between his wife, Blake Lively, and a guy named Justin Baldoni. Okay, Blake Lively might have just done herself in this battle with Justin Baldoni, although she didn't do it intentionally. It was something she said long before she ever worked with Justin Baldoni, right? But there's something she said that has now been resurfaced, and it is right on the nose as far as what the issues are in her battle with Justin Baldoni. Alright, you better sit tight for this one because things just got a whole lot messier with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. And guess what? Ryan Reynolds just got officially kicked out of Wrexham ownership right after Blake got caught lying. This whole lawsuit drama is turning into a full-blown disaster, and it looks like the once picture-perfect Reynolds family is falling apart right before our eyes. It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy. Remember seeing this on the schedule? Dive in, shall we? So I saw you posing in a photo with Mrs. Reynolds, and I'm sorry. When Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney first took over Wrexham, people were both surprised and excited, two Hollywood stars investing in a historic Welsh football club. It felt like something out of a movie. Ryan quickly became the face of the ownership, showing up at games, interacting with fans, and constantly hyping up the team on social media. Fans loved him not just as an investor but as someone who truly cared about the club. But now all of that goodwill has come crashing down with Ryan's sudden removal. Wrexham supporters are left wondering what really went down behind the scenes. Was this a calculated move? Was he blindsided? And most importantly, what did Blake do that was bad enough to get him kicked out? For those who have no idea how this whole mess started, let's break it down. It all began with shocking allegations. Blake Lively claimed she was sexually assaulted on the set of It Ends With Us, and the person accused? None other than Justin Baldoni, the film's leading man and director. From there, things spiraled completely out of control. The details weren't adding up, and soon enough, the situation turned into a full-blown legal battle. Justin Baldoni, along with Jimmy Heath, Wayfair Studios, and his publicist, fired the first shot by suing the New York Times, the outlet that originally published Blake's claims. But that was just round one. Then came the second lawsuit. This time, Justin went directly after Blake and Ryan Reynolds, and this is where things got wild. We're talking Game of Thrones-level backstabbing, Taylor Swift drama, and some seriously shady text messages surfacing in his lawsuit. Justin claims that the New York Times worked with Blake to manipulate the story, cherry-picking details and leaving out key facts to make him and his team look guilty. He insists that before the article was published, he and his legal team told the newspaper that Blake's version of events wasn't true. But despite that, the story still went live 2 hours early, which Justin believes was a calculated move to control the narrative. Are you saying that they got changed copies of the communications or that they changed the communications to remove emojis? Are you blaming the New York Times for doing that? I'm blaming the New York Times for participating with Blake Lively's publicists and engaging in this campaign with. And as for Blake, well, instead of jumping straight into the lawsuit, she took a route. She filed a right-to-sue letter with the California Civil Rights Department. This move let her skip the discovery process and keep things hush-hush. But now that everything is out in the open, Justin's team is calling her out, saying she never planned to actually sue. She just wanted to make herself look more believable. One of Blake's biggest accusations was that Justin and his team used their media connections to launch a smear campaign against her. She even brought out text messages that seemed to prove it. But Justin's team wasn't having it. They fired back, claiming Blake edited those messages to make it look like there was a full-blown effort to destroy her reputation. To prove their point, Justin's side dropped their own receipts. These leaked internal messages showed that Justin's team was actually worried about Blake's PR team pushing fake positive press in her favor. In one of the messages, Justin himself asks, "How can we prove we aren't doing this? It looks bad." A colleague reassures him that Blake's team is behind the media spin, while another PR rep brushes it off, saying people are just reacting to Blake's own actions. And it doesn't stop there. Justin's lawsuit even claims that Blake manipulated messages to fit her side of the story. In one example, she shared a text exchange where someone sent an article titled, "Could Blake Lively be cancelled?" And a team member replied, "Wow, you outdid yourself with this." Sounds shady, right? Well, Justin's team says Blake conveniently removed emojis and sarcasm from the message, turning what was meant as a joke into something that looked serious. Now, if you're wondering where Ryan Reynolds fits into all this chaos, trust me, he's right in the middle of it. As this whole drama unfolds, it turns out that Blake wasn't just acting in It Ends With Us. She was trying to take creative control. She allegedly pushed Justin to let her edit and rewrite scenes, a privilege that no other actress had on set. But because Justin was so accommodating, he let her do it, and well, that decision came back to bite him. But here's the real kicker. Ryan wasn't just a supportive husband cheering from the sidelines. He was in on it too. Reports suggest that he actually helped rewrite parts of the script. One cast member even confirmed that Ryan made major changes to multiple scenes, something that almost no other actor would be allowed to do. But since Blake was involved, the usual Hollywood rules didn't apply. Hold on, you guys have to see this. No, Ryan's here tonight. What is it like for the both of you to be promoting major motion pictures at the same time? Oh my gosh, it's just so thrilling in our house right now. We help each other, we work together so much. Though the iconic rooftop scene in this movie, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that but you now. But he wrote it. He works on everything I do, I work on everything he does. So his wins, his celebrations are mine, and mine are his. I mean, he's all over this film. According to the staff, Blake and Ryan constantly tweaked lines, reworked scenes, and disrupted the production, making things tense on set. Blake played Justin perfectly, showering him with compliments, calling him one of the best directors she'd ever worked with. She claimed other directors had never let her contribute creatively, and Justin, wanting to be fair, gave her the freedom she wanted. But that decision backfired massively when she rewrote a crucial rooftop scene, the scene that changed everything. Will you please get down from there? I'm good, thanks. According to Justin and his legal team, Blake made sure everyone knew that Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift loved her version of the scene. She even invited Justin to her penthouse, where Ryan and Taylor hyped up her writing, making Justin feel like he had no choice but to keep it in the movie. Later, Justin even texted her, praising her talent and saying he'd tried to incorporate her ideas into the final cut. And this is where the Game of Thrones comparisons started. Blake actually referred to herself as Khaleesi, saying she had dragons, aka Taylor and Ryan, who would always back her up, and she wasn't just name-dropping. She was making it very clear that she held real power in both the movie and music industries. She knew exactly how to use her influence to get what she wanted. But Blake didn't stop at one scene. She wanted control over the entire script. Justin, trying to keep the peace, let her make changes daily, hoping to avoid conflict. But the more he allowed it, the worse it got. Blake began questioning every single directing decision, causing even more chaos behind the scenes. Do you know the brilliance of Blake Lively? I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. She was extremely involved, and she really made the film better, especially when it came to intimacy and all of that. She had a very clear vision, and she was telling me what she thought would work and what she thought wouldn't. Now, here's where things get really ironic. Around the exact time Blake claimed that Justin harassed her, she was still inviting him over and texting him non-stop. If she was so uncomfortable, why was she constantly reaching out to him? And not just that, her messages were full of praise. She complimented the film clips, raved about his directing, and even asked for more footage. And you know why people believe Justin over Blake? Because Justin had real receipts. His legal team didn't just talk, they delivered proof. They gave everyone a sneak peek into one of the biggest claims in Blake's lawsuit. Blake accused Justin of getting way too intimate during a scene that was supposed to be silent. She claimed that he whispered to her in a way that made her uncomfortable and even caressed her cheek and neck, something that wasn't in the script. Sounds serious, right? But here's the problem. Blake didn't see the plot twist coming. Justin dropped the real footage, and guess what? The leaked clips completely contradict her claims. The raw footage showed that the entire moment was taken out of context. The so-called whispering and touching didn't happen the way she said it did. Before the leaked video clip blew up, Blake didn't realize that audio was being recorded during the scene she claimed was harassment. But when the footage surfaced, it told a completely different story. Turns out, both Justin and Blake were in character the entire time. In fact, Blake herself suggested they talk during the scene to make it look more romantic in slow motion. It was all about nailing the perfect shot. Nothing inappropriate happened. But here's where things took a turn. Blake still went ahead and accused Justin of harassment and body shaming. And to make matters worse, she reportedly manipulated Ryan into believing Justin was the bad guy, even though Ryan and Justin had never worked together before. Now, let's talk about Taylor Swift because her name just got dragged into this mess, and fans, they are not happy. There's even speculation that Taylor might be separating herself from Blake, realizing that Blake used her as a pawn in her own industry drama. And guess what? Taylor did not invite Blake to the Super Bowl this year, an invite she's regularly extended to her friends in the past. Ouch. But here's where it gets interesting. Sources say that even if Taylor had invited Blake, she wouldn't have gone anyway. She wasn't about to show up and have her legal drama overshadow Taylor and Travis Kelce's big moment. Last year, Blake was right there in the VIP suite cheering on the Chiefs with Taylor's inner circle, but now things have changed drastically. Taylor, who's now tangled in Blake's legal battle with Justin Baldoni, is keeping a low profile. And let's not forget Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit alleges that Blake used Taylor's name to sabotage his film. That's next-level messy. A source told the Daily Mail that Taylor isn't trying to shade Blake by not inviting her, she just doesn't want drama. But behind the scenes, Taylor reportedly resents Blake for calling her one of her dragons. Yeah, that did not sit well with her. And here's where things get even wilder. Taylor allegedly had no idea Justin Baldoni was even going to be there when she visited Blake's apartment. The timing? A little too convenient. The source claims Blake orchestrated it so Taylor would arrive just as Baldoni was leaving. But it gets worse. Taylor also learned that Blake has been name-dropping her in ways that aren't even true. For example, Blake reportedly told a young actress that Taylor personally cast her, which according to insiders